Movement is an exploration of self. It's understanding who you are. I think what brought me into yoga, because I've always been a mover. When I was 5 years old, I started lifting weights. Someone gifted me this Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania workout thing, and it had like these 3-pound weights and this workout poster, and I would sit in my room, because I had kind of like a sad childhood. I was an only child, and also the oldest of 8, but that's a whole another weird story. But
okay, so weird family dynamics.
Yeah, weird family dynamics growing up. So I spent a lot of time by myself, and in that time I found kind of fitness, and I was into that.
And this was your own thing. Like your family didn't have a fitness history.
No, my dad wasn't into fitness. My mom wasn't. No one in my family has ever done fitness.
And this is pre-internet.
This is pre-internet.
So Hulk Hogan inspired you.
Hulk Hogan, and at the time I didn't even really know who Hulk Hogan was. I was born in 1980, so it was kind of that WWF before it was WWE.
Right.
You know, that was like a popular thing, and so I had these weights, and I was always small. I was always the smallest one, and so I wanted to be big.
Right.
And so I started out working out on my own, and I got into wrestling really young. And I think wrestling really helped me understand my body and how to move other people as well, which surprisingly has helped me a lot as a yoga teacher, because yoga is about creating connections, and we are so interconnected in ourselves. So this is like an idea called biotensegrity, where everything in the body is under tension and compression. But we're so interconnected that whatever I do in my body, if I move a hand like this, it affects my entire body. But if I reach out and grab your hand, whatever I do affects your entire body.
Right. It introduces all these new degrees of freedom and feedback.
So I understood this first as a wrestler, and I know you do BJJ.
Yeah.
And so you understand like how you move someone else, you could adjust their weight and submit them however you want. But when I took this into yoga, it was more like, how can I create space by establishing a connection that is one rather than two? And when you're a really good mover of your own body, you become a good mover of other people's bodies. And so this was kind of like my first understanding of really moving. And then from there, I did lots of stuff. I was growing up in Southern California. I was into snowboarding and wakeboarding, and started rock climbing at a really young age. And rock climbing is what I did for a long time before I even got into yoga. And yoga is one of those things that introduced me, rock climbing is one of those things that made me want to do yoga more, because the yoga practice helped my rock climbing.
It did.
In the beginning, and then eventually yoga took over, because there was something more than just movement, or at least for my entire life, there was something missing. I'd always been a mover, but yet there was something missing.
Right.
And I explored kind of everything. Like it was always, how can I just be the better? Was the only thing I wanted to do, and I had all these goals. I wanted to be a firefighter, so paramedic, and I know I wanted to be a hero. I think I just wanted to be bigger than what I was always.
Right. Kind of like Hulk Hogan, right?
Kind of like Hulk Hogan. Yeah. I didn't think it would come back to that so much, but yeah.
And it's interesting to hear that you said that kind of wrestling, which is obviously in martial art combat with another human being, and I guess you probably did freestyle wrestling in high school, or you moved to Greco-Roman quickly?
So I did collegiate in high school.
Okay.
And freestyle a little bit in high school, and then after high school, when I joined the Marine Corps, I was on the All-Marine wrestling team, and that's when I got into Greco. So it was mostly Greco and a little bit of freestyle training, and that was the majority of my Marine Corps career, except for the little bit of time I spent in Iraq, but most of my time in the Marine Corps was spent wrestling.